Language is acquired by your family. Family is part of your identity. For example, I'm 16 years old, I'm brunette, I'm tall, that's part of my identity, but family is also, and they teach you how to be yourself or how to acquire your language. Part of your identity also is what you speak or where you come from. For example, I come from America and Mexico. I'm a Mexican and American citizen. For instance, I speak Spanish and English, but I also identify as I'm primarily American, but I identify more as Mexican, even though I was born in San Diego. In my personal experience, I'm more introverted when I speak English and more extroverted when I speak Spanish. Right? In conclusion, language shapes your identity and identity shapes your language. For instance, language is part of who you are, and identity helps you how you develop in your language. For example, extroverted in Spanish and introverted in English. Thank you.
Go.
Okay, so hi, my name is Emilio Flores. Basically, today I'm going to talk about what language and identity are. Language basically is like the way you express yourself. And we could say it's a code in which one speaks in. For example, Mexican and Spanish people, well, they speak in Spanish, which is their code, which is their way of expressing themselves. But like the culture and the identity, which is what I'm going to talk about right now, basically identity is like the way you grew up. It's basically like the culture you have grown up with, and the culture, the person, and let's just say it like how can I say it? Like your essence, that's basically your identity. It's like yourself, what makes you you. So basically, language and identity, they're both tied together, because language can shape identity in the way that language and the way you express yourself can determine how you feel about yourself, and identity can determine how you speak and the language you use. Well, not the language you use, but like how you express yourself in that language, because how you think, how you are, what your essence is reflected on the language. Now, personally, I think that's something that is really important to note, because if you think about it, that's like what makes you, you know? Because people know you the way you talk and the way you are, which is the way you talk, which is the language, and the way you are, which is the identity. So yeah, that'd be basically it.
Hi, my name is Estefania Hernández, and today I'm going to be talking about language and identity and the relation between each other and into my life. First of all, language is the way we communicate. It can be through signs, it can be verbal or written, and it's basically just a way of communicating with other people within a community. Now, identity is a way we see ourselves and the core values of our personality. Now, identity is how we see ourselves and our core values. These two concepts are directly related. First of all, because language is related to your culture, which is related to your identity. So that's one way we can relate the two concepts. And for me, specifically, language is really tied to my identity, since the way I express myself forms a huge part of who I am. I speak both English and Spanish as a first language, and this ties into how other people see me and how I see myself. Language and identity are both related as well to our families and to the community which we surround ourselves, and are related to where we live and the way we talk in everyday life. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Luma. Today I'm going to present you the relation between identity and language and how it affects myself. So I have been studying English since I was a little kid, so the language is part of myself, and I like to express in that language. I prefer to speak Spanish because I have lived in Mexico all my life, so I think it's like part of me, and I have the tradition of speaking that language with my family, with my friends, and with my teachers, except for English. And I act more social when I speak the language, but when I speak English, I am more introvert, and I speak more calm. I think it affects my personality because in English I'm more shy, and when I speak Spanish I feel more comfortable, and I think it affects my thoughts and everything, because when I like see movies in English and then when I see people talking in English, I think they are more dramatic, and in Spanish they are more like calm, and they only use kind of like different words, because in English they have like the same words, but when they say it, they are like more expressive. But I like different in that way because my first language is Spanish. So that's all from my part, and yeah.